Welcome to session number 60 of Tears of the Kingdom. We are way up high in the sky, but apparently not high enough, judging by all these platforms we have not been to. I think we were there previously, though. This one? No, maybe not. So we've got a lot to do on this side. This, as well as the sphere here that we unceremoniously missed on a previous encounter due to not accounting for the low gravity effect. Yeah, this looks like it's going to be very likely another kind of shrine escort, possibly even close to the Wind Temple, judging by its location. No, it's a little off from there. But anyway, we have a couple of different points that we could hit. There's also one that I marked on this side that is at a lower and more approachable elevation, and is also close to the dragon that we can't identify just yet from silhouette. I think we should make it over there first, and then we'll come back. We'll have a bit more distance to gain elevation. Although, yeah, it'll consume a lot of power, but that's okay. Anyway, currently we're sitting at 125 shrines. Just missing a couple of the ones on the surface. We've got 376 Koroks. Feeling like we're in generally pretty good shape. And I want to pop some more batteries on this now and power things up. Yeah, we could do this side first. If we do this side first, we'll probably go up there right away and then over there, but it's a little difficult to aim for the sight line without a bit more distance, so I think that's probably going to be worth the cost of a big battery, or however much it will take to get there. This location is close enough that I think maybe 1 or 2 batteries will do the trick. It might even be overkill. Let me see how many I'm sitting on right now. Yeah, well... Oh, actually, you know what? Before we do that, I should have scanned around to see if we could loot any. That's okay. We'll plug 1 in, and maybe 2 will be enough to work with. Eventually we'll make more accurate estimates. The problem is that if our estimate is a bit off, we'll end up spending a charge anyway, but that just happens. Anyway, let's go. We just taken out a Flux Construct and looted a Sage's Will in the location that we were at moments ago. We also have 1 remaining labyrinth to take care of, which will hopefully not be as much of a fuss as the other one that we had just recently traversed. But anyway, let's continue, and that's how we do on a single charge. Judging by distance here, I feel like we'll potentially need to pop some more batteries or more charges on as we make the approach, but should actually just make a proper calculation for the distance that we travel. No, actually it looks feasible. Reach again. Difficult to gauge distance. It's actually at a lower elevation, much lower elevation than I originally foresaw from scouting it from afar. Almost think we should change course and go to one of the upper locations, but no, that's okay. Let's stay on target. And yeah, this will be new territory somewhere here in this section of the archipelago, so we'll head down. Looks like it might potentially be something like the boss arena, judging by the shape of that landing point. And if we're in for another construct fight, so be it. I actually can't tell if that is closer or the upper platform is closer. I'll switch to my scope right now. We're not in the best position to do so. I think that, you know, these pieces are essentially connected on the archipelago, and so yeah, that is as expected a Flux Construct fight. We are almost certainly going to have to burn a few charges to get on top of the platform safely, but we will do that. Actually, maybe the battery was just about sufficient. We'll pop 1 or 2 charges just to be absolutely safe. Yeah, we're actually going to be fine. Look at all these hover platforms here as well. Okay, the trick here is to not let the construct smash my vehicle. I don't think we'll have problems with that. Fox Pounder, what have we got on a bow? Construct bow, okay. You know what? Mark II, he's going to be absolutely no problem. And we'll switch to this Fox 3 Pounder, maybe. This guy's gonna be down in no time. Come on, rotate. This way. Then. Yeah, maybe 1 additional cycle. Be all we need. It's gonna be easy pickings. Assuming I can see him. Oh, there we go. We'll be able to kill him pretty quickly, I think. Assuming no mishaps here. And we'll even have to find somewhere to attach the Mark II part here. Okay, let's find out what we'll do. We've got actually a spare Zonite sword. That'll be very convenient for our purposes. And we've got a treasure chest, which will hopefully be a sage as well, because that will complete 4 the plug-in and a statue later. Nope, just a map. Probably something I found, just given how thoroughly I scanned the map. Oh, maybe not. That's actually something new. That's a surprise. Right, we had been here previously, and for some reason I had missed that. Okay, maybe that will even allow me to finish the wind set given this location there, so that will be worth checking further down the road when we have an opportunity to go back. Anyway, we have a lot of platforms up high that we could potentially go to. Hover platforms indicate to me that we should also be looking for things like rocket parts. We'll, of course, take our own vehicle up if we can, but we'll scan around to see what's available. And we'll check the other side here too. And yeah, everything here is within a short enough range that we should be able to do some island hopping without additional battery expenditure, and gaining elevation will be quite useful for that purpose, so. I'm sure there are rocket parts or something around here. There are balloon parts, in fact. It's even better. Lots of balloon parts, lots of batteries. We can gain a fair bit of height. Yeah, I mean, you know, this is set up to just go if you want. But I think I'd rather take my own ride. So what we're going to do is pop a couple of these off. And we're going to build it ourselves. Having a balloon will also allow me to do a safe fall. Main reason we don't usually build this way for longer hauls is simply because balloons have a way of expiring. it's better to, you know, kind of build this modular base unit and just to pop things on and off as needed, which is why this has been my most versatile and at this point most used vehicle design. Put tons of battery life on this, in fact. We can just plug in as we go. Way more than we need. And yeah, we'll just attach a bunch of them all over the place, and we won't need this many. But gives me a bit of comfort in terms of just not having to think about battery life for a little bit, in case we've vastly misjudged any of the distances involved. But we might as well attach everything we can. Whoops. And let's do some island hopping around the archipelago. Yeah, so I wonder if the map locations do anything to perhaps prioritize missing treasures. Or if we just, by the luck of the draw, caught one that lined up deterministically with what we were looking for in the depths. Would be an interesting mechanic to help fill out remaining locations once you're kind of doing the endgame sweep, instead of just discovering tons of maps that are functionally useless from redundancy. Again, I don't know. Don't have the information to say. What we do have is the ability to traverse up here and discover what this whole area is all about. And yeah, this way we don't need to worry about the power expenditure of the balloon. Probably going to be another crystal escort soon enough. Let's try to move forward a little bit so we can actually get above the central platform if we can. Whoop. Maybe a slightly risky drop, but that's okay. Yeah, it is going to be a crystal escort. Let's just figure out where. Also notice that other platforms are around for possibly grabbing Koroks off the walls. Now let's not get too far from the vehicle, just in case of spawning issues. But we'll explore this as thoroughly as we usually do. And all will hopefully be well. So yeah, here we are up in the central Hyrule sky. Take the crystal connected to the beam as usual. It's going to be that away. Might even be quite close, in fact. Yeah, because you're meant to, you know, do this whole rotation. We don't need it to it because we can just take a vehicle and fly. We'll do it later, in fact, after we've had a chance to explore around here. I may detach the balloon at this point, since we don't need an additional height gain in this section. Already as high as we need to be by the looks of it, so. Because that's just the Great Sky Island over there, and yeah, everything else should be reachable with the island hopper. Oh, also, I completely forgot to put the Korok mask back on. I wonder now if I missed any pings in the last zone. I might have. Nothing here, though. I mean, we know at this point that the Koroks are often on the walls of those isolated islands with trees. and something that has pretty systematically been the case. What we'll do instead is make sure we know where this spawns, first of all. Notice some constructs just kind of camping out as well on neighboring platforms. And what do we have here? Lots of rockets, that's nice. We'll always use those for future interactions with shields. That's good though. Got plenty of all of those pieces. Now for the sake of accuracy, we'll probably take the balloon off at this stage. Just so we can do all of the interactions here without too much additional fuss. Yeah, let's take it off. It served its purpose. I actually kind of wonder what something like shield plus balloon would do. I think it would just be obstructed. I doubt it actually gives you a bounce or anything. Yeah, I doubt it. But it's pretty funny to have a balloon on your back. We'll just do that to have a balloon sticking out of our back then. I wonder actually if maybe that would work as a parachute or something. No, that doesn't make sense. But it's still funny to look at. So keep it. Anyway, let's check a couple of locations around here just to hop around. And scan for anything interesting. We'll do the shrine, of course, but not before we've had a chance to check for Sundelions and the like. Yeah, that looks like another thing to read. Eventually we'll need the photo camera for this stuff, so we'll just mark this out with a star. No point in doing it now, of course. Not yet. We can eventually go over that segment too. That looks like it's likely just whatever is associated with the archipelago in the Gerudo region. Let's spin this around and take it back and then do what we can until we have to plug in the crystal, because of course at that point we will lose the vehicle. Which means, by the way, that while I'm still able to use the island hopper, we should head over here and cling onto the side the way that we've done previously. Okay, we'll grab that Sundelion. No. Sundelion, please. Yeah, there we go. We'll carefully climb down. Come on, climb down. There we go. Ever since we started noticing these, we started grabbing them everywhere we can. Not that we need the Koroks at this point. But regardless, we'll turn around this way again and just hop over to the next location. Probably need to take a bit of a fall here, but we'll pitch downwards as much as we can and just get a bit of a gentle decline. Right down. And yeah, we do know that these are actually heavy enough to weigh things down on the vehicle. At least I can't get an elevation gain with it, and I don't know if I'll get an elevation loss. We might need to put an additional fan on it just to give it some lift. 3 fans is a little bit low for it, so. We can also alternatively give it a bit of initial boost for rocket. So we don't need to deal with elevation issues. In fact, I kind of like that idea. Let's give it a rocket. And yeah, we'll just put it on top in the diagonal. The whole purpose of this is just to make sure that we don't get weighed down. There we go. That's actually way overkill. Made it. Minimal fall damage. Blood Moon rises. Because that's what the Blood Moon does. Also, the whole construction has fallen apart because we pulled the wrong piece, and that's okay because we're about to lose it anyway from doing this. Doesn't really matter either way if we let the Blood Moon run. It'll do its job, and then as far as mapping goes, yeah, this is approximately the area that we've been in, so that's where we fought the construct. And yeah, we'll be able to traverse quite a bit beyond that. I still had to figure out what's going on with Thunder at some point, but we'll have to go back for it. In the meantime, we'll just cover what we can in the sky. You know what, let's just do this. We can see the Blood Moon when we're out. I kind of suspect I'd just trip over the balloon if I tried to shield surf into it. Rather than getting a bounce, but we'll try it at some other point. It still looks pretty funny, having it perched on my back like that. Anyway, here we go. Now we'll continue going down the checklist. Okay, let's build another one. Might as well save a little bit of zonite. I don't know if we want to use the fans because I do want to conserve them, but certainly we have enough steering sticks that we can pull one of those. We'll see, because the whole purpose of having the manual fans is that they're reconfigurable if necessary. Anyway, we've been here. We see another archipelago's worth of interactions over here. Seems fairly close by, might even be reachable with, you know, maybe one battery or something. And we'd have to fly up high above that to probably complete the interaction if it is something like a sphere escort. Now, if we can find a shrine location right away, that would be best. Doesn't appear to be down there, so we should actually go for the upper platform if we can. Anyway, Blood Moon's gonna go. And we'll Once again, let it do its job. I have been to that one, haven't I? Should check.
When the glow of the blood-stained moon shines.
I actually don't know, so... I actually don't think I've been to that side. Let's do it. There's so many platforms to choose from. Let's not step here without knowing what I'm doing. Yeah, you're supposed to let it push you and then paraglide down, which we'll specifically not be doing. That looks like a boss platform as well, potentially, for Sage's Will or something. Alright, let's go in that side and go center, and then we can always hop back out towards the southwest. We can even do the construction with the balloon, but I don't think I will. I think we'll go with the familiar design. Just to be safe. All those roots hanging over there, I don't know where we've been. Yeah, but that looks like it's some meaningful interaction. But let's go up high and see it. So we would have come in the other way, right? We would come in here. Yeah, there's a point I marked out earlier. And a bit of distance here. Could make all the difference when it comes to battery. Let's check distance again. It's really close. I don't think I'll need battery for it, but in worst case, we'll plug in small charges. Yeah, tilt forward, you get a really efficient method of just pushing forward, and yeah, we'll have plenty of battery life to spare. Yeah, it's a wing platform. Combined with ferries. Let's grab some ferries. And notice that, more propellers we can plug in if we want. Yeah, I'd be using the wings a lot more if they didn't have so many issues with expiry. We'll obviously check behind this little waterfall here. But after trying to snag a few ferries first, just to have a bit of safety. And Wizardry Bianca, welcome. Hope you've been doing alright. Okay, let's just plug in what we can. More arowanas. I really should just shock the fish. The way we often do. Dump some lightning on them. No, we'll grab a whole bunch instead. And as I've been saying, we'll check this very quickly. Since it's just so incredibly obvious, or at least I thought it was. And I am doing alright, thank you. Alright, let's get in here. Okay, just a little self-sustaining, self-recycling water feature. More ferries. Quite a few more ferries around this fountain, in fact. Let's, once again, just bring the vehicle closer. Just to avoid despawn issues. Oh, I see. It's a water gate and not the hotel. But you lift this gate, you let the water flow. You lift that gate, you let the water flow even further, and then you create a waterfall that would perhaps allow you to get back up here from below. We'll do that after the ferries. Yeah, because it looks like there's a bit of an infinite water supply here anyway, so the idea should be... Oh, come on. Get over here. Yeah, to release both gates, and then it just spills all the way down to approximately the Great Plateau, actually, right by the Shrine of Resurrection. Artwork for the channel? No, I'm alright, thank you. We already have an arrangement with somebody, so thanks for asking. Right, let's get over here. Come on. There we go. Okay, so we're going to lift both gates. Just get water flowing. Right, because then you can use this to latch it after you lift it. How's that going to work? Okay, you can just brace it. Yeah, okay, so we'll just latch the log. Basically, just like, whoop. No. Took too long to do it. Yeah, because we need to use the log to pin it in place. Hang on. No, hang on. It's just going to snap that way because we just can't get a good vantage point. Might need more than one log, actually. Problem with the log is that it actually doesn't extend far enough, does it? It just fits through here. What we need to do is actually place it on a bottom layer and have it suspend platform this way. There we go, much better. Much better. Now we do another one. Might have to chop down a tree for that one, but we'll go down and see. And that'll also flesh out a whole bunch of fish. Which also gives me a treasure chest. Possibly for a sage as well. Excellent, that's number 4. Okay, so it's not just lowering a waterfall, it actually is like a little miniature puzzle that allows me to have a bunch of fish. And looks like we can't really permanently affix the waterfall. I mean, if we chomp down a tree or something, we could, but perhaps there's no purpose to doing it. Or perhaps there is. Let's leave it attached. I'm sure it... Whoa, that's dangerous. Anyway. A few responsiveness issues with the controllers. They probably just... a little bit of drift that's developing. Whoop. Let's loot this thing. We can't get it all. That's right, this is just right above the plateau. directly above the plateau. So you could make a waterfall here, but... Oh, yeah, you can, actually. I'll just suspend it this way. With this log. And maybe it will stay in place. If it... oh, no, let's place the log first, and then do it the same way as we did with the other one. And, yeah, get it flowing. Given that there's no success chime or something that kind of locks this interaction into place, though, I doubt this will actually stay. The waterfall, in fact, does not go very far. So it's purely for this puzzle. It's not for going up and down from below or anything like that. So Forge Sage's Wills, though, that's going to be pretty useful. Yo, Electro Dude, welcome. Also, we should remember to check for this chest as well. Sound seems deado already. Okay. Yeah. We've actually gone a few days without that problem, so it's unfortunate that we have it back, but I will fix it, and thank you for letting me know. Just give me a moment here to make some repairs. Yeah, because we've been totally fine for sound for most of the past week. Just popping in before bed, yeah. Good to see you around. Yeah, we'll likely have some schedule changes heading into August as well. I'm expecting to take a bit of a streaming break in July and August after finishing this, but we'll have a new schedule that will be maybe a bit more EU-friendly. Anyway, sound I think should be fine. Let me just check a few things to make sure synchronization is going to be okay. Okay, looks fine. I don't think it's too far behind or anything, is it? Alright, let me know if the sound is acceptable. Hopefully it won't have too many issues with latency for it either. If we do, we'll just do another attempt at a reset. Yeah, that's too bad. We've been doing so well for sound lately, too. But it's fixed, and thank you for catching that nice and early. Before things really got out of control. A bit quiet. Yeah, that's because this is a quiet area. This is fairly quiet to begin with, this place. So. Anyway. Got some treasure chests. Electro Dude, I haven't checked the Discord. See, this is the issue when sometimes I run things that are not Mario Maker, which get low traffic, is that you realize that, like, when channels get low traffic on Twitch, just how much ad spam you have to put up with. But that's okay. We'll enforce that as necessary. Okay, what was I doing here? I got a bit distracted by all that. Let's see. We got a treasure. Isn't there a platform down below that I wanted to check? Let me just look around here for a bit. Because we have a flight platform over here. We just came over from that side. Not like we had scouted something else. Oh yes, this little structure here. I don't really want to lose that much elevation, but at the same time we're right here. We should actually just do it. Doesn't look like there's a shrine or anything though. It just is some other kind of way station. Maybe we're checking anyway though. It's not a big deal. More flight platforms going this way. Whoa, let's not walk off the edge here. Could check that, or we could just continue in the upper layer for now. Because it's going to be a bit of a steep drop, I might have to attach a balloon for this one. I feel like the purpose of that platform is to get up to this platform. But you never know. Yeah. We'll actually be sweeping around here anyway, at some point. So if I just head directly back over that side, I'd like to stay high for now. Maybe we can mark this for later. But it doesn't look like any kind of shrine. Yeah, and that looks like it's just a vehicle point. So it's like a midpoint that allows you to travel, as far as I can tell. We can go back for it some other time, though. I'll just mark it. Oh, and not fall down. I have no idea how many stages wills there even are in this game, but having a set of 4 is already a pretty big deal, so we'll just fly back. And after we fly back, we're going to go for... Actually, the labyrinth's not far. But no, I think we'll go for the other parts of the archipelago first, and we'll kind of have a halfway point. This is in this location. Would make sense to fly partway first. It's kind of on a triangle. Yeah, let's minimize battery consumption and just move over a bit before we proceed. So yeah, as long as the synchronization's okay on the sound. That's the main thing I'm concerned about, other than it's cutting off completely. Right at this point, let's see where we'll go next. And yeah, we're probably going to do this by distance, but it looks like... Yeah, there's an orb there. There's probably going to be another shrine escort. Actually, the shrine is right there. It's already glowing. So we'll just go directly for it, I think, without worrying about what's below. Given that, let's check distance. With a bit of elevation gain, I'm guessing maybe 2 batteries will do. Just as a guess. And if we're wrong, we're wrong. Might even use a rocket for the initial elevation gain, but no, that's okay. We'll do it this way. One of this platform on the right is even closer, but rather than guessing, we'll go straight for where I see a shrine is definitely located. And yeah, it looks like we should have enough power. Close enough in elevation that it's crank forward at this point. Just the forward tilt allows me to have a very power efficient way of covering distance. And then we'll go straight for this platform here. 2 batteries was actually overkill, but that's okay. It just means we'll land very, very comfortably with no issues. Yeah, so a shrine has already been plugged in here. Before doing it, because we don't want to lose the vehicle yet, we'll do a bit of island hopping in the immediate area, and we'll come back for the shrine. I don't even know who's trying to attack me right now. Yeah, that's going to be another Korok point up there. Very easily reachable if I were to guess. It must be just something like an Aracuda or something. Trying to chase me down. We're well out of its range. Ooh, we'll get some mirrors. We actually don't have very many mirrors or beam emitters out in the bag, so we should do another roll or two here. You know, just in case that becomes useful. I wonder with the combination of beam emitters and mirrors if you can set up various traps. Yeah, so it looks like we've got a couple of different spaces to interact with here. We will probably be headed that way afterwards, unless I change my mind and head to the labyrinth, since the labyrinth is actually close enough that this is one of my best approaches to it. Got this island over here, that looks like it's just another flight point. You can tell by the takeoff ramp. Well, let's decide this now, because if I decide to do the labyrinth next, then what happens is that I won't be back here for some time to grab these islands, so we should do those islands first. And come back for the shrine. Okay, rock first. And we'll see, that actually looks like a really sizable island in its own right. Whoa. Hang on. Can I grab it? It's way out of view. Grab. Just like that. Amazing. Okay. Oh, and it's one of these. Okay, that's unfortunate. There's no way am I... I guess maybe that's a glider point or something. Yeah, you have to basically glide over and hit the target. Because as soon as you hit another platform, that disappears. So this is glider required, unfortunately, so we'll mark it. It looks like that's the interaction with the other island. At least a lower level, so... we can still check the top level, see if there's anything interesting there, but... looks like this island here will be a skip. We'll check this and we'll go back for the shrine. Temperature, yeah, let's... something on. Makes total physical sense, of course. Don't know if there will be anything interesting going on here. We'll run around for it anyway. Just in case. case of treasure or something. It looks like the lower level is probably the part that's important here, so... Luminous mine over there. And yeah, this would be your route to get back up to the sphere. Or that whole interaction. We've got a couple of ways back up though, so let's go back to where we came from, to the shrine, and then go for the labyrinth after that. I think that's going to be the order. We'll scout around a bit more to be sure. Yeah, enemies down below, but we don't know if that's going to be interesting. Depending on whether we have a point for descending here. All these branches. Okay, so yeah, there's a place here too. Down if we like. Might even be able to just ride the vehicle down. If I can find it. Where's my ride? Don't tell me I despawned it. Oh, it's over there. So the idea will be that if we are over a certain part of the ledge over here, maybe able to just drop down with this. It'll be a bit tricky. No, I can't really reach. We should just place this here. If we lose it, we lose it. We'll climb down and send back up, and hopefully it's still within range. And we're doing for health, full health, that's okay. Yeah, that's gonna be the landing point for... Oh, this is interesting. There's a turret and a chest up here. Which means we ascend from below. Yeah. Good thing I didn't miss. Chest up here. We never figured out what these are. It's not lightning strike, it's not a beam, I think. I don't think it's lightning strike. Who would know? This isn't the only time I've seen it either. No, it's something else that we don't know how to activate. Like maybe it's a reflection from a light source. I think it is a reflection from a light source that we need. Which makes me wonder if something like a manual light would do it. We just set up a light in the mirror or something. But anyway, should be able to go like this. Not quite, we don't want to slip out. Why don't we go like this? Yeah, we just disassemble this thing immediately so we don't get toasted by it. can even use it to burn off some of that. And yeah, the maps actually are consistently giving me locations that I haven't seen yet, which is nice. We gotta mark this whole place with a treasure chest because we do have a couple of things left unseen. Ah, mirror and light. Okay, great, we can use this. Or, well, these are just mirrors, though. We need a light source. Activate around here. Still. Interesting. Yeah, I've got a couple of platforms here that we'll use in conjunction with a puzzle. Burn off everything we can. And over here, too. Oh, mirror shield. This guy. Let's spin this one out. Just... Come on, I dare you. Okay. Well, that was quick. Whoa, didn't want to come through here. That was dangerous. Oh, that's too bad. We can't loot him at this point, but... It's a little too dangerous. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing that. However, we can continue to toast some of this stuff. And Electro Dude, you'll take your leave for now? Yeah, thanks for reporting a sound problem. As always. Good to see you around. Enjoy Splatfest if it's happening next week, I think. And if you're still playing. Yeah, we'll take these cheap magic rods. And we'll just continue to toast more of this stuff, and we'll probably have to set up a series of mirrors, I think. Let me discover how. Yeah, I haven't played the extra work bonus stuff at all. I just haven't had a chance to look at it. Well, we're given so many mirrors here, but we're not given a light source. This does not qualify as a light source. What the precision and magnitude we need. The whole point is to set up some kind of reflection chamber. But from where? That I do not know. Let's head back down and see, because maybe we could go further into lower level and then understand this better. Yeah, so this is the target. A couple stakes here. Looks very much like you're supposed to reflect light all the way down here from something. But from what? Maybe it's something from top level? I don't know. Whoops. Because Demira needs a source. Maybe it's something I have to manually activate. I don't think it's just going to be the sunlight or something. I wonder if it's even going to be from this platform, or if you need to just have a reflection from somewhere else. I mean, we could just maybe try a standard light. I highly doubt it, but it's not a reason not to try. In fact, if that does work, that tells me that we should try out the same thing at the 8th Gerudo statue. Because that's where we last saw a light panel that I didn't wind up operating. That's fine. Why don't we just go with a light bulb? I doubt it. I really don't think it's going to be it. It'd be hilarious if this works. Let's grab a steak. Maybe it needs to be sustained or something. A certain length of time. In which case we'll use this. Yeah, there's no way. No way. So it needs an actual full-size light source. Don't see where to get one. I think we'll leave this one for the time being. I'd have explored this island further, but we'll see. Because if it is something like a light source on this level, we should be able to open it up or yeah, somehow. Maybe it's sunlight. Maybe we just focus the sunlight. Then that would only work in daytime. Like, what happens if you just used a mirror with sunlight? It totally doesn't work that way. Oh, it totally does work that way. Yeah, okay, no, you just focus the sunlight then. Why can't you just do that down below? Just pack off a couple of mirrors and go. Probably some of those platforms as well. And this would only work during the day. 8:55 AM though, we've got the whole day ahead of us. Mess with this. Ah, that's the issue, is that there's no sunlight here. But there is over here. And so we just need to reflect it. So... what's the problem, right? Now will it stay in place? It basically will. Turn it out just a little bit. Oh, this is starting to get shaded here. We need a stake. Or the platform. Nope. Well, so much for that mirror. The thing is, it's dependent on the time of day. Although, the upper level is going to be shaded. No matter what. So, I see we probably moved this in too close. And ran into some issues. Yeah, because the sun's moving that away. We can always use a couple of additional mirrors from our bags, of course. Whoops. We're able to get some more up there, though, just to make sure something shines down. That would obviously be helpful. Actually, beginning to think that we should use a campfire as something to pass time. Nope, nope. Then if we do, wouldn't it change the location of... There's no need. Let's see. Yeah, so you can potentially place something over there, an island where it's a bit more exposed. Might also be possible to do something over here. We can do that. It's a little off the position I want. But perhaps we can reposition like this. Oh, and of course the sun's no longer in range. Nope, and it fell. Couldn't actually see what was clipping. Well, we might have to go up to see if maybe mirrors have respawned. After dropping them off like that. We could, of course, just build our own. Yeah, no real parts for me to work with here. We'll make our own. Unfortunate, but it's the way it has to be done. Okay. Here. And let's see, where's the sun? It's receding quite a bit. Nope. Not within range of the sun. Here's the thing about the sun, it keeps moving. I almost wondered if construct heads would help with this. Yeah, because I think I just hit the wrong time of day for this right now. But if we change the time of day, do I lose my vehicle? Is the concern I have currently. We do have 2 mirrors here. That is also still kind of reachable. Oh, sunlight over here. Great, great, great. Finally. Okay, problem solved just by waiting, apparently. What? Or is it just temporarily in the shade? Of course it's going to do that. You know what, we can probably just do it with one at this point. Or, you know, just hold it up and shine it directly, maybe. Where's the other one? We did have a second mirror, didn't we? We didn't. We dropped it. You know what? We'll just do it like this. Turns out the solution was to just wait for the sun to get in the right place. Sage as well. Okay. Well, that was one of the more interesting islands we've seen. And now we also know that this is what we should have done with the 8th heroine statue. It should have been obvious to me, it's just that it had been so long since we'd done the Lightning Temple that I'd forgotten those were light activated points that required a mirror, and furthermore would interact with sunlight. So, do we mark the 8th statue? It's somewhere here. Statue of 8th heroine, yeah. So when we go back there at some point, we'll do it. Anyway. Let's go back to the shrine so we can actually do it. I don't know if Sage's Will just improves the cooldown on the partner abilities. I think that's probably the likeliest outcome. Yeah, more platforms down below, but we'll stay elevated for now. We'll fly over to the labyrinth after this one. Okay, let's see what this is. A reflective device. Well, in keeping with the shrine that is right next door. Alright, let's get a shield or a mirror or something. Where are my mirrors? There we go. Sort of interesting that you have shrines that synergize with nearby overworld content like that. And yeah, looks like we have a little light over here that we'll use to hit some other point I don't know about yet. Let's see if there's anything I can manipulate on that side. Looks like we need to hit this. Probably using a light source in the first room. This will be exactly like the lightning temple then. Maybe. Yeah, because you could potentially... Hang on. Send it through this grate in the middle here, and then... What about this? Does this count as sunlight? It does not. And it looks like you'd probably climb through here too, if you really wanted to. Indeed. Oh, you know what? You can just slip it through. Yeah, that's how to do it. I was thinking, you know, why don't you just ride this with recall and just slip in the middle and just get through the gate that way. I want to do it now, even though it's not the so-called intended solution. You know, just create a little mirror board over here. I bet I can do it. You know, just create a little platform to stand on. Crouch through, walk through. Just for the style points. And we'll get on and we'll crouch. Come on. And then we can just go through without ever activating this thing. But I want to take the additional mirrors through with me anyway. Because then we can send some light through to the next room. Which it looks like we'll have to do. That's easy though. Now I haven't seen where the treasure point is here yet. Looks like there's something to hit down here, so that's an obvious thing to check. Okay, we can do that too. Yeah, we could try to hold this manually, but I think the idea will be to use the other beam. What we can do is go like this. Pop it up. Yeah, we can do it. A little bit high, but just. Took it back slightly. Whoops. I see it hits the ledge if you try to do that. Too bad the camera position isn't cooperative with me here. Yeah, because if it doesn't hit the ledge, it just overshoots. That's fine. That's fine. What we can do yeah, because I think the idea is that you hold this and then reflect in that way. Which we can do. Heard it light up, we just can't see where we're going. There's definitely a more elegant way to do it. Let's figure it out. Probably just well, if we're going up, I bet. First of all, we'll put it close. Secondly, we'll just carry this up and do this from a stable platform rather than a moving one. Oh look, additional pieces that we're not using. we go. Yeah, we've got a couple of additional pieces that we'll just never use. And once again, we'll accomplish one of these. My own way. Yeah, I mean, there's a light source right there. We can use that for something stunning. We should actually set up more mirrors, too. The way we did in the Lightning Temple, just make a mirror cluster. Because it'll be fun. So the idea behind it is that we prop each of these up. Drop it right in the middle and have it shining all over the place. Even some additional mirrors in the next room that we can use for such purposes. And we'll see what the constructs think of it as we move this over. Oh, okay. Oh, I see. You can just create more reflections going that way. Whoa, this guy's gonna pick it up. Here we go. Easy. Easy. I'm gonna drop one of the magic wands for the spike sledge, I think. So we have a minimal mining weapon. At some point. Okay, well this will be pretty simple then. And we are done. Well, that's another one. Now I'm at 127, I think. Okay, we'll need a new vehicle. Then we're going to the labyrinth. It will hopefully not take me as long as the other labyrinths have done so far, just from occasionally poor flight mechanics. Okay, here's how we'll do it. It might be power efficient to use rockets for the initial launch, but we shall see. I'll use this vehicle just to give myself a bit more maneuverability, even though heading straight there, we can probably do even better than that. And this is obviously meant to be a wing track. Here, it's just that I don't know if a wing will last long enough to get me where I need to go, so. Yeah, it's long enough that, you know, I'm guessing probably 1 or 2 batteries and maybe some rockets. We need a lot more batteries. And yeah, we can go probably straight forward with rockets. We really just need one. Now we can get a little bit of lift on one, and we actually don't want too much lift here, I think. We can kind of tilt forward. We'll see. Hard to tell elevation here. We can go straight. Does feel like we're approximately the right elevation, so let's just go straight. Yeah. Yeah, we can burn through some of the battery right away, but it should be pretty power efficient from this point, so. Still in the second battery, actually. We're doing very well. I should use rockets to launch this more often. It just covers so much more distance initially, like if we're in longer flights. Yeah, we should be able to make it easily. And will be the shrine, of course. The shrine will get the vehicle once again, but let's at least open up the updraft initially, because it's probably the most important thing. We won't want to hit the shrine after that, because in the event that I fall off the platform, we do have some ferries that are going to keep me alive down below, and so we don't want that to spoil the progress. And we'll activate the updraft first. Then we'll see how everything is distributed. Yeah, we did just fine, except low gravity. Yeah, once again, we'll need to be aware of this. Because low gravity can throw me off quite a bit with any of these layouts. These are all tests of wisdom, not power or courage. One for dragons, one for owls. Now, this is the one type of quest for which I actually do want indicators on my map, so we'll head over to the quest log, because, yeah, we do need that, in fact. Four terminals seem close by. Yeah, we need to track it. Okay, so that's how they're distributed. We do get the updraft. Yeah, at the expense of the vehicle, which will not be too useful here anyway. Let's do the shrine first. Okay, this will be a freebie. Unlit blessing, that's interesting. That's unusual. So do we need to light some things on fire? Unlit blessing. It's very unusual. Haven't seen anything like this. We might as well just trade mighty bows, since this is hardly used. I feel like you're supposed to light some torches or something. Yeah, for sure. There we go. There we go. That's more like it. Well, so the idea will be to light torches. We'll probably want to use some key swings just to be accurate. I might even want to use the Gerudo bow, although I'm mostly saving it for Bleox. Actually, no, Zonite bow would be excellent here because range bonus. Okay. Also notice that you basically have infinite power in a Zonite bow. It's in a shrine, you don't need to worry about battery. Now, if I need to ride this, that's a concern because we can't ride it. I actually can't do this then. Put it in the glider unless rocket shield. Hang on. I don't have a rocket shield handy. I might need to get out of this shrine and come back to it because we basically need a rocket shield to get across. Maybe. I don't even know if this surface is climbable. Look at that. Actually, you know what? You can destroy that with fire. You can pop this open in the middle. Maybe that's a chest. And then in this case, if you get propelled forward... I feel like a rocket shield. But a shield surf is the way to go here. Again, I just don't know if the surface is climbable. If it's not climbable, that won't work. But basically, if you get in the middle there, then you can ascend, right? There's even a bow there. Well, you could do some momentum manipulation with this. Or even to skydive or something. Does wing shield allow you to ride a wing? Probably not. Switch to a one-hander just in case. Or... actually, I don't think it'll matter. Okay, now trying to run into this. No, hang on. Okay. No, it doesn't work. But a rocket might work. A rocket might work. Let's get it and come back in. Yeah. Because we know that rocket plus shield surf does propel rocket forward. We might have to reset this quite a bit. We also know the wing just doesn't work at all, so... At least without anything like an updraft. I mean, no, it doesn't project you forward. It just sends you down, so... Let's get 2 rockets in here just in case. Rockets do face forward when you get into shield surf, which is why I think this is worth trying. We'd have to redo the fire interaction, I'm sure, but we'll see. I wonder if we can just go quickly. No, it freezes when you are past this point, so... Okay. Yeah, and we'll burn off the center there, because that, if we're able to land there, might give me a ascension point. Yeah, we want forward momentum going into this platform. And then we want to hold into the shield jump. Yeah, hold into shield and then forward A. Look at that, it worked. It worked. It even gave me a safe landing. This changes things for some of the other seemingly glider-dependent shrines that we've encountered so far, because we have skipped about 4, I think, on the surface. At least one of which had precisely this kind of interaction. Not only did it worked smoothly and perfectly. Yeah, because you get a bit of forward propulsion on a shield surf. That, because we were in midair, I didn't really even get the opportunity to read properly, since we didn't have the ground as a reference point. Okay, now let's do this. We'll float around a bit. We'll get skydive suit on as well, just for extra maneuverability. Need more of those Gibdo parts and such to upgrade that. More Barracuda eyeballs as well. But anyway, let's jump. Yeah, good. So instead of fussing around with vehicles all day, we'll just get this to succeed immediately. Instead of giving up on that too soon, in fact, that was the issue that we had run into. Push me up a little bit. No, I think it'll probably be down low. Hard to tell, actually. I had to traverse the whole maze to do it. Get into the center. There's the end point over there. There'll be some treasure chests along the way, I'm sure. Here's one area that is partly secluded. Maybe it will give me access to the passageway I need. Should be somewhere along here. Just a matter of finding where the different access points are when we can't necessarily engage elevation. No, I think this is where we were previously. Pretty close to something though. This central area here has an activation point. Just need to figure out where the access way is. There. That's one. Well, this is going a lot smoother than the other labyrinths now that we've had a bit of experience for how to deal with these. Love the skydive suit when you're actually diving, incidentally. It's so quick. Zonite bows are quite nice. With durability up, we might even replace the construct bow. One of them anyway. We're just loaded with bows at this point, so having more bows with range is definitely a good thing. Because range is the main issue we have to deal with when it comes to things like the Gleox. Okay, let's move out of here. I think probably we need to go below and then, whoa. Momentarily a gust of cold here. Koroks are not going to be too much of an issue here until we are perhaps at the top level, so let's put Snow Coil on just in case. Before we take tons of chip damage. This is one I've seen? Yes, it is. Now let's get to the others. As long as we maintain our sense of direction, I think we're able to traverse this. But I should keep track of which way I'm facing. For the sake of knowing where to push through. We might have to go up to the top level and drop back in. Yeah, that's okay. We can do the symmetrically equivalent one on this side, maybe. Yeah, it's right here. Okay, pretty simple. Suspect we might have to go around for the rest, though. Right at the top side, might be better to run the maze up top first. Instead of fussing with this all day, but we'll see. Actually, we're pushing through pretty quickly. In this central section here, so make it through, we'll be there in no time. Yeah, this is actually a lot of fun if you're doing it properly, unlike how I was playing it in previous sessions. Or we were just messing around with vehicles the whole time. And one more. On this side, approximately. This is going so much better than the other ones. At least so far. That's what happens when you just get into gust right away and don't mess around too much. Yeah, so we do need to find a way across. Some point here. It's gonna be through here. And around. We can. Somewhere close by, perhaps, yep. We go through here. It's here. We just get a bit of lift. There we go. Just Super Mario World away. In with a little bit of down and an up. Right it up top, then we'll switch to the car cat up top too. Just inspect the top level in case there is anything. Yeah, the gust will send me all the way up at this point, I think. But we do need to check. Here we go. Up we go with the wings. We have a central pedestal over here. I feel like this is a different kind of location than some of the chests we had seen previously. But, you know, different labyrinth. We'll just adjust as necessary. Big battery. That's very welcome. So yeah, let's switch to one layer snow quote temporarily so we can just scan around with the car cat before we go too far. Probably just a matter of checking the corners, but you know, we'll open this up first just so we make sure the gate is available. And we could expend a ferry in the initial fall. It might be more cost efficient than just using the balloon, since we know we can take the fall. But of course, we would need to heal up out of that in order to do the construct fight, so maybe that's not efficient. Move your courage by diving into the depths of the earth. So yeah, then we go down, we take out the flexory, we get some loot. It'll be business as usual. So yeah, I'm just going to check some of the corners here because I do believe that's going to be a Korok on that side, as expected. Whether we can jump this is anyone's guess. And like I said, anyone's guess, but just take the updraft up. And perhaps we can get kicked back up. Get the Koroks to that way, even if we just have one layer of skydive on. Looks like it is a dive here though, so. I don't think that's not going to happen at the moment, so Mark it. That's one for to shoot. So yeah, the issue that we discovered with the balloon descent as before is that in low gravity with the updraft it doesn't quite work. Or at least it was fussy to put together because we needed to load it with an additional object just to weigh it down. However, that's assuming that the updraft is on, which it may or may not be. Or we could just jump and expend a ferry, it's not a big deal. Although we'd lose a lot of hearts that way, and would have to heal up with food. So it's just a matter of, would you rather spend Zonite or would you rather spend food? So we basically get our descender vehicle here. Hang on. Yeah, the low gravity is not the issue. The updraft is the issue. Well, we'll try it. And if it fails, we can try to weigh it down the way we did before, even though that was tricky. We can always also dive out. Let's go snow coil again, as long as we remember to switch out of it afterwards. We'll drop. Hopefully not get caught by updraft. Okay, we're fine. We are in fact perfectly fine. It is going to drift a little bit. It's not quite balanced. Yeah, but then, yeah, once we're out of the low gravity zone, then the drift isn't quite as severe, and we should be able to land safely. And we'll just reposition once we're on top of the labyrinth. I hope. How accurate will we be? Pretty accurate. So, then we take this forward. And then find a drop point down below, which is going to be pretty close. And we can just drop down level by level, and yeah, it's going to be right here. Right here, in fact. So, this way we know we can just go this. Yeah, the horizontal drift is unfortunate. I think that maybe we can improve this design by placing a stabilizer in the basket or something. It just precludes me from getting to lift the flamethrower. If we do, in fact, build that way, so it's the only thing. But if it's a descent-only vehicle, then maybe the stabilizer, for the sake of balance, should, in fact, go in the middle. Well, it's possible just to walk this way and rebalance just by standing in a different location. way, all this is lit up already, so we can just switch to a full set of armor. In fact, just for style, why don't we do this with a Hylian set, since armor value is going to be the only thing that matters here for the moment. Yeah, we'll stay on the shield for a moment. And we will go with the Flux Pounder. Zonite Bow's fine. After we put this at center, then it's going to drop in after we activate the switch at the end of this fight. Want to maybe put some lightning on it? I don't think it matters. Yeah, it totally doesn't matter. Just accelerates the fight slightly, that's all. Also, out of stamina. Whoop. Out of here. Shouldn't have run so aggressively. It's on his shoulder now. Let's wait for the next swap. Okay, great. It's a little more accurate now. Beat up the Flux 3 with another Flux 3. Seems like poetic justice. Okay, flip. Bit of a close call that time, but that's okay. One more round will be fine. It's going to be recall phase, and that's easy enough to handle. So watch out for the flip. Yeah, we should just take it out right here. Where'd it go? There it is. Broke a weapon, that's okay. We'll just attach the Flux Pounder to do something new. Kind of just want to put it on the Master Sword. I mean, we're just running out of weapon attachments here. Might even put on the Gloom Sword or something. Or we'll just replace the Soldier 3, I think. Yeah, that's probably best. Let's replace it straight up. Not a very valuable part, so that's why we keep things like this in reserve. Much better. Okay, let's activate this and let's finish the set also. We should figure out how we're going to get back upstairs from this point. This looks like a boss rematch. I don't know for whom it... might have been... Yeah, we've got a couple of X's down here that we can traverse to as well. I don't think I'll be spending too long in the depths. But it's true that we're in an area of the map that I previously had kind of underexplored anyhow. And so this might be worth checking. And know for sure that we'll have a treasure point over here, so. But then eventually when we go to the Spirit Temple, that's going to be close to that anyway, so, you know, maybe there's no particular rush. Anyway, let's complete the set. And this is from the Ruler of Boars. Armor wreathed in otherworldly evil. Given that we can't upgrade the evil spirit set, I kind of wonder what it will give me as a set bonus, but we'll find out. So what happens when we put it all together? With very little armor value, but whoops, no. Wrong one. Evil spirit, where are you? Okay. Disguise bone weapon proficiency. Okay, so it combines the radiant set effect with whichever weapon give me bone. Actually, I mean, it's the same. It's basically the same as radiant set, except you can't upgrade it. It gives you stealth. So, very fun cosmetically. Maybe there's an effect you'll get off of it, but realistically, I don't know how much use we'll get out of it. Now, it's possible to take the balloon back up, but since we're down here, we might as well sweep some of the surrounding area. Because there's quite a lot down here that I hadn't necessarily seen previously. Since this was the earliest part of the depths I had explored without quite understanding its overall structure and internal logic, and so... well, let's go gloom. Bad. And so, let's get out of here. Maybe even just put on the full gloom set so we don't have to worry about stepping in things so much. Anyway, a vehicle point over here, we can assemble something cheap. This looks like it's a Yiga base or something. I don't know if it's one that I would have exalted previously, but we can check it. Obviously, we can check this for a boss rematch because I must have started for a reason. And likewise, this location hasn't been named. It looks like it's a very likely treasure chest. Probably more Yiga bases as well. I mean, we skipped over a lot of this stuff when I was here in the early game. Just by zipping around in the minecarts in total darkness. So it does make sense to explore it a bit now. And we'll do it with our usual ride. Because it's just too good to give up. Although we don't have baskets here, do we? Yeah, not a big deal. Yeah, too much elevation gain and loss, I think, too. Depend on a driving vehicle, we want to go up and down a bit. So. Yeah, we're down when it comes to the zone head count, but we'll cover things and start by going east. Couple of things worth hitting. Probably. It's not a named location, so I'm guessing I never went there. Yeah, probably this vehicle assembly point. And some of the other parts I wanted. That's okay. Mostly curious who the boss rematch will be. Should have put on a balloon or something so we could drop. Well, we can also just swirl our way down. Judging by the sound down there, I think it's actually potentially a Queen Gibdo fight. But I can't quite tell at this elevation. We should, in fact, have put some like bright bloom on this. I didn't think I'd need to since we have mapped out all of this stuff, but it's like it actually would be useful. Anyway, we'll probably run the battery out. Drop. That looks like ice, actually, which means that we have no rematch yet. Which means that we should head back out. Might have scanned that previously and known that, but that's okay. Let's put the giant seat on. Okay. Oh, it's powered off. Good. Alright, let's check the adjoining structures. Yeah, it looks like it's a mine on that side, and also mine on this side, yeah. Duval Canyon should have a fairly obvious treasure chest in the usual place, so we'll go for that. We can grab some zonite while we're down here, but doesn't matter too much. I also noted at this point that I had quite a while to go before we hit the battery cap, so let's just take what we can. Yeah, we were depleting the zonite really quickly. I've used about half of what I collected in the depths over the course of our very long adventure. Punishing. Then we've been whipping together so many quick vehicle builds on the surface. It's not altogether surprising we would spin down so soon. Yeah, more large pieces as well, because we know we've been depleting them fairly quickly for the sake of gear upgrades. Anyway. You know what, let's just climb. Then at this point, we'll head back out the other way over to this mining location over here, and then we'll just continue sweeping. Yeah, open area here. I suspect Frox's. This looks like Yiga. And again, we won't know until I go there, where I have or haven't looted already when it comes to schematics, since we just didn't track it very well in the early game especially. We'll stay low and we'll head to the next mine. Right up here. Nice and easy. Ranage can mine. And just more charges. Not a big deal. And yeah, we'll go up to the right next and check these locations. This looks like a mine, this looks like Yiga. Neither have been named, so presumably unexplored. Well, I mean, the Yiga clan bases don't get named anyway, but we'll check it. See the red circle. The gatekeeper is still up and active. Not the fastest ride, but it is very precise. So we'll head up and check for whatever lies beyond that ridge. Might want to do a quick battery refresh along the way, just as we can. And we'll just recharge and go. Some ways over here. And yeah, we have to keep our eye out for the remaining bargainer statue as well. I haven't quite scoped out where it might be, judging by the minimap, and so it might not be as obvious a landmark as some of the other ones. Let's see here. Okay, so I do see the base. Let's look for a circle. See if this has been taken already. Okay, good. This is in fact something new, so let's put on a suit and go hunting. In a moment, we'll recharge first and we'll head up to the top level and then snipe them. Kind of convenient that the labyrinth took me back down to this part of the zone, in fact, since we had meant to revisit it. Can I just shoot him down? I mean, I probably could, but this will be more efficient. And yeah, we'll just go for the eyeball. Not gonna bother aiming. we'll head straight up. We'll also check the notebook. Okay. Over we go. And let's see what schematic it is this time. Monocycle. Guess that's what one of the clansmen is demonstrating down below. Yeah, with a stabilizer propping it up. Very fun and efficient. But not what we're using right now. We'll head down to check the notebook, which means we'll do a recall drop. And this elevation should be safe. Then safety first. Keep your balance to avoid overturning the vehicle. Yeah. Check the driver from all its axes. We know that discovered the hard way by now. Worth it for the arrows. Costs a lot of durability on the spikes, but we don't care. Whoa, let's not do something too shocking. I should really be using the Master Sword to open crates, actually, but that's okay. $184 arrows, we're feeling mostly secure. Could be better. But raid their whole banana stash. And let's get out. Our next location will be mine over here. And from there we can go to the central mine to load up on charges, but it's not a serious priority, I don't think. Get to the Sunderland stash, which they've also been using for gloom protection. Yeah, we'll switch back to the gloom clothes. Probably. Where are they? Let's see. Looks like a boss arena here. We'll go to the mine first. Yeah, this is like a Frox area, in fact. Yeah, we do need to fight some Froxes, so... Just more charges, we've really completed most other options at this point. We are still missing a few gear pieces though, so worth checking this stuff. Particularly if there's a mining wall for me to open up with Unobo, if you'd like to come over. Climb on a wall to pull them over. Starting to rely on that as a method for doing some of this stuff. Much better. Let's check the frogs area. Presumably. It'd just be this whole zone over here. After that, this thing we'll check is probably to wrap around this area and go west of the labyrinth. I feel like we have covered a lot of that before. Wouldn't hurt though, especially with Gibdo wings and such being farmable in those locations. We just need to look very carefully to see what else we might have neglected. We would have neglected a lot in the lower level, actually. I feel like we had barely touched any of that content. Don't think we'll do it all in one go, of course. We'll probably... Just thinking about where I'll my next ascension point. We can also just get out right away over to the Bridge of Hylia. Instead of spending too long down here. I mean, there's some additional spots worth checking, but we can loop around and do that. Check this area first, though. Yeah, it wasn't my intention to do much depth exploration today, but it's more than. We're down here, it's convenient. Might as well get a few things done. But yeah, we've had some pretty good momentum when it comes to clearing shrines, so that's one thing I definitely want to prioritize if I can. This absolutely looks like a box arena. Yeah, there it is. Let's do a bombing run. Let's see what we can. Oh. Whoa, okay, that's a big leap. Didn't expect that. Let's move the vehicle out of the way just so we park it aside. It's just standard Frox, but we might need some standard Frox parts anyway, so I don't mind. We're going to go with... tempted to use the Luminous Talus Hammer. Yeah, we'll do that. That'll get him down quickly, I'm sure. And then, yeah, he'll go down in no time. Whoop. Oh, we broke it already. Okay, that's fine. We'll just use something else. Looks 2-pounder. And Riju with a shot here should probably finish him off, but where's Riju? Totally out of the way, that's where she is. There she is. Ah, sure, why not? Just a bit close for that. It's a very rare occasion where we actually get hit by this guy. Oop. Definitely overspent resources on him. We don't have that many eyeballs to go around. Whoops. Yeah, a reshoot with one arrow shot should have just taken him here, but... Okay, standard frogs. Haven't seen one of those in a long time. We actually need obsidian and blue-white for the remainder of the set that we're trying to upgrade, but that's okay. Right, do I still have my vehicle? Yes, I do. So, we'll take it around somewhere. Probably go towards this exit, but not before we've at least checked that. Now, this will just be a short depths excursion. At least that's the intent right now. We might change our minds about that after sufficient play. But we'll see. And yeah, we could take some of those out mines as we go, but I think at this point I'd rather just continue and scoop up a couple of prospective treasure locations that we already know we should check. Just labyrinth down there. We will continue heading west. Just make sure we have a nice, easy drop zone. Once that becomes relevant, which it should very soon. This area here looks like it's an enemy mine, yeah. And then we'll just head on up. Now that we've actually lit up the horizon. Yeah, it's actually kind of a nice view of the depths once you've lit up everything. Okay. Just like the flight that time, let's cut back across the canyon. Probably, although let's mine this might be a location we're checking. Yeah, some of these might be eco bases. This looks like, yeah, it's got the minecart track attached to it. We'll check a few things. Just do kind of a local circuit around here without going too far. Just to hit a few points of interest. Oh, not this way. Yeah, so the labyrinth is here. We've seen our fill of that. Well, I guess we should have waited for the full recharge on this before proceeding. That's okay. We'll walk it. Yeah, going this way. Let's see. What looks suspicious? Statues are pointing out more mines. It does look like another Yiga base over there. Again, I just don't remember if I checked these. We'll pass by it anyway, and now from that point on, loop upwards. Unless any obvious boss arenas or anything else present themselves. How far was that treasure marker? It's pretty far. One up here? Yeah, I doubt we'll go for it right now. Okay, this is just an enemy mine. Plant base over here, yeah. Check for any sign of a key. I don't see it. In fact, the flyer over there has already been robbed of that, so... Yeah, we've been here. No. No reason to stay. We'll head up to this location and we'll just sweep north. Seems reasonable to me. We're aiming in approximately the right direction anyway, which we currently are not. That is Yiga base that has not been taken, so we'll snipe that guy quickly. Oh, let's refresh first. We can even try with a Nobo bombing run, but we'll see. Because I find it very difficult to aim. Oh, that works. Works perfectly, in fact. Shock trap. I guess so. I mean, it's just really some scaffolding for a single electrical attack. Nothing can disperse gloom. And we know all this. All these tutorial messages we might have seen long ago. Oh, hence all the shock traps, I see. All over the place. Let's do what we said and just use the Master Sword to open crates. That's what it's for. Okay, that's what it's mostly for. I wanted to get back to using something cheap. Okay, next. We'll hang right over here. I think that's probably just mining location. We'll head over here. Forge construct, though, that might be good because then we can trade for some more charges, which I may in fact want to do. Although maybe not with a large zonite because we do need that for a lot of upgrades. But it's one of those things where, you know, since you're here, I guess we'll do it. Very easy to just follow this and get progressively more and more distracted, though. But yeah, at this point, you know, I don't mind spending a bit more in case we have an opportunity to turn to the Great Sky Island. We should in fact buy large charges. Obsidian Frost, we do in fact want to fight one of these. Oh, oops. Okay. Well, that blew up. That's okay. So much for the vehicle. Let's actually switch to... do we want the armor? No, we'll stay on Gloom so we can actually walk around. And then Flux 2-pounder. Let's get out. Hang on. Okay. Nope. Nope. Gotta stop burning so many eyeballs in this. Let's just wait for the bomb phase. Yeah, having the ability to actually temporarily walk into the gloom is, in fact, very nice. I use the big one? Nah, probably not yet. We'll go Boca Reaper. Nope. Wrong way. Yeah, made quick work with this guy. Zonite even paid for the vehicle damage, if you want to think about it that way. Okay. Make sure I didn't miss any Rox parts here. Oh, sure. Too much running around, that's why I started just using mining weapons anyway. And yeah, let's just walk over to the mine. It's right there, so not a big deal. We'll probably check that one last location and then get out of here, though. And we'll grab some vehicle parts if we can. Somewhere in this area, but yeah, let's do a bit of shopping. They're probably good for the small charges. Yeah, that's the thing is that you know, spend 15 on these, right? That would leave enough for some gear. Because if you buy 5, that basically gives you 1 full battery bank. You know what, we don't come that often. Yeah, by the time upgrading some of the really zonite heavy gear becomes relevant, I think we'll have chances to come back, so. 1 more charges. 30 zonite, yeah, that's easily worthwhile. We'll probably hold off on these though. Large charges are great, but we don't want to overspend. Battery expansion is probably going to take precedence at this point. At 435, yeah, we can get up to about 500. And get back out. That'll be a nice sizable expansion. Okay, let's assemble something. Probably come back here and then work our way back out. There's a boss marker here. I don't know if we'll necessarily engage, given that I am kind of eager to get back to the surface to continue. But you never know. Sure, whatever. If you insist. Yeah, look at that, broke my weapon just in time to use this thing. And pick up a sturdy stick. Oops. Didn't realize I had that much room for picking up random things like arms, actually. But that's okay. Alright, at this point, we will reassemble. And continue. Looks like that is just mining location, though. Not even gonna bother. Yeah, mining location there. Let's cut across. We have to descend quite a ways to go down to the woods. It's going to be a water landing, though, so it's possible to... I mean, I'm thinking of it as the woods, but it's actually a lake. Oh, also, we no longer have a bright bloom seed on this. That's why it's so dark all of a sudden. That's okay. We'll replace it as necessary. Looks like there's definitely something to see down there. A landing point that takes you inside. I see it. If I'm not mistaken, we should be able to fly in. Right here. Just see what this is. We should just fly to it. As we can. It's almost certainly just a treasure. Since we don't get bumped along the walls here, we should be fine. Through the middle, and is there seriously no treasure chest or anything for me to look at? Oh, maybe we did loot this location previously then. I actually can't tell. Main stalactites tell me there's no ascension. Just swords back in action. Just like we always knew it would be. Yeah, let's scan around a bit. Huh. Odd. Well, there's no name on this location, so I think it's maybe just there to match what's on the surface. For no other purpose. Highly suspicious, but oh well. anyway. At this point, we're going to pass by what we can on the way to... we're fairly close to this treasure, I guess. See, this is how things get out of control, but... Then we have this essential point that we actually never took. I think. And this Yiga base, I don't remember if we would have done it either. Alright, that's fine. We're reasonably close. You kind of have to go around anyway, though. Attention over here. Yeah, we remember this one as well. This one, in fact, gets you up into the mountains. Okay, we actually do have to log off pretty soon, though, so let's maybe just... see what we can. Possibly head up to the Daylight Grove and then continue fairly soon from there. Yeah. That's how this game gets you, just one task to choose from after another. But if we ascend closer to the west or the northwest instead, that will be more in keeping with where we want to go anyway when we eventually get around to the Wind Temple and other such things that we've been putting on. So, we'll see about that. We'll stop for just a moment here. River Canyon has been marked, but I wonder if we would have taken a chest. I must have. Yeah, I must have done so. I see no chest there. We can check it just to be sure, but... I'm fairly certain that has been looted. Yep. Good. So yeah, we'll head up to Daylight Grove. And we'll pop the chest over there, and we'll probably stop at that point. And then we'll determine our course from there at the beginning of the next stream. didn't expect to just run into something, but okay. Not gonna complain about that. Oh, chest must be right around here. In the grove. Should I even bother? Probably not. Sword of the Hero. Very nice. It's dangerous to go alone. Take this. That's got to go to the museum. We need an additional weapon room in the museum. Anyway, let's get out of here to a point of safety. Where we're not going to be whacked by trees. And yeah, we'll just park at a nearby light route, I think. This one right here. And we'll determine which direction to continue in when we resume. Okay, so that's it for this session. Definitely gonna keep that one kicking around somewhere. Yeah, at this point I don't think I'll bother with the picture gallery in the museum. We'll just open a second weapon room. Or even a second shield room. As in, you know, you can merge shields with weapons and fit in a couple extra pieces. Yeah, that's just a classic. Anyway, we're going to stop here. And we'll be back for more soon enough, so thank you so much for joining me for this bonus session today. We got lots done in the sky and a little bit done in the depths. Just for balance. We'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful time ahead of you. And we will be back for even more, ideally, in just a few hours' time. Have a great day. Fare thee well.